Sorry, you guys. I tried to start two live streams with my computer. Sorry about that, because I'm home, and it wouldn't work on the computer. So I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, I wanted to just come on really quickly because I have been absent for a little while. You know, things in the regular day-to-day life have taken precedence in the last week. But anyway, I just wanted to comment on something interesting from good old Aaron yesterday. And that was the idea about the body routers and the fact that obviously, hey, ciscat girl, yeah, I'm at home, and the other stuff was not working out. Trying to do this on my computer, I tried two streams and it wasn't happening. But anyway, here we are, and it'll be a short one anyway. But what I was talking about was Aaron was talking about the fact that the body routers are really not doing well these days, but the fact that they're actually doing better than anything else out there, meaning they are doing better than the Scientology TV network on DirecTV, which is the same as the stuff that they have on YouTube, which is all garbage and North Korean propaganda, as we know. But this just highlights the predicament of Scientology even that much more, because what we see is that they don't have any options. Scientology basically has no options right now. They can't not put people out body routing, although they barely do. There we go. Do we have is that a little better? No, not really. Sorry, because I was trying to make this happen on my home computer, and that was a mega fail. So now I'm trying to do this on my phone from home and try to set it up. Hello. La. I like the name. LA. Hi, regulator. How's it going? So the thing is that it's really interesting. I mean, imagine if you were in Miscavige's position. Yeah, I turn it this way because I don't want anybody to... Oh, man. I am dorking out majorly today. Forget it. So imagine you're in Miscavige's position. You cannot really send people out on the streets in so many places because they will be met by protesters. They will be exposed as trying to bring somebody into a cult. And it just won't work. You're not going to get a lot of sales by doing the body routing. We know their deal. We show up. Oh, you saw me in a tour. That's funny. I love that. So John Strange, hey, Mary, hello. So imagine the body routing is not working for shit. I mean, it is a joke. And it was funny how Aaron said, just imagine that was just Streets LA, William, that made this whole thing happen. Now it's spread all over the world. We have sptv.space, which I will never stop talking about. And all right, Spain. Is there anything there? Yeah, I think there's something in Madrid. I think Aaron was just talking about that yesterday. Um, so everywhere they send out body routers now, they have a chance of dealing with some protesters. Some people saying, hey, don't do it. These are Scientologists. And so their numbers are in the tank. I mean, if they are making enough money off of new people coming in off the street, SPDV space is a beacon of community light in the darkness of a cult awareness storm. A cult awareness storm in a teacup, we may say. Activism has to dive into where Scientos are going, outreach within the Hispanic communities. Uh-huh. You're following from the Netherlands. Dat is goed. I know a little Flemish. But anyway, the funny thing, as Aaron was talking about it, was the fact that obviously the TV network thing isn't working. And what I did not know from Aaron's video yesterday, and sorry, I don't remember the title. I watched too much of this stuff, like many of you. The whole idea, and I've seen it happen at the testing center on Hollywood Boulevard. But that is perfect. Ja. I speak German, so I kind of just guess with Dutch. But the thing where they would have the people watch the TVs when they walk in and not even approach them and try to sell them, that I found interesting because I've seen it happen. And I wondered what the hell was up because I know how aggressive they can be. And so it's like the fact that they just let them come in and watch these TVs because they got rid of the kind of specialist in recruiting new members. Because remember, in Scientology, it can never be the fault of Scientology, and it can never be the fault of David Miscavige when things go wrong. So therefore, when the numbers went down, apparently, a long time ago, before they got this new TV idea in the lobby, what happened was David Miscavige blamed these top salespeople who were the experts at luring fresh meat into the cult and said, you guys aren't doing it right, so we're going to replace you with these TVs. Thanks, regulator. And that's going to get them in. So, and then you see how Miscavige bought this former TV studio, raw meat. Yeah, fresh meat or raw? Yeah, raw meat. I think you're right, Amy. So, I mean, they already had this film production studio out in Hemet. Hey, Magnus, good to see you here. So they already had this TV studio or motion picture studio out in Hemet, out in the desert, in the secret location. I mix them all up. That's not flag land base. That That would be in Clearwater. Golden Era Productions. Yeah, that's what it was, I believe, in Hemet. But anyway, um, I mean, they had a whole place for making movies. They could make full-on movies, right? They could even get to the level of Battlefield Earth movies, but they don't. They make shitty North Korean PR movies, shows, whatever, and that's about all they got. And meanwhile, then they bought the old KCET studios, which was the what do you call it? Public TV in LA. They bought this whole thing for millions and millions of dollars, then renovated it and everything. And apparently that's where Miscavige lives mainly, or at least when he's in LA. But so they have what I'm saying is they have a lot of facilities for making movies, for making shows, for creating their propaganda. The problem is their propaganda sucks, and not nobody, I'm sure there's some dumbass somewhere, but basically nobody's showing up saying, I want to join Scientology because I saw your amazing film. I saw your amazing infomercial. Sign me up. Nobody's doing that. Not enough to keep the lights on. Not enough to keep those Sea Org members in rice and beans. So if they were working social media, the internet, YouTube, DirecTV, all of that stuff, if they were working all that stuff correctly, then British Columbia, beautiful place, then they wouldn't have to send body routers onto the street to potentially be met by us, which isn't working out too well for them. But they don't have an ability to recruit people online through all their media production bullshit. It's not working. I'm sure they get a couple calls every now and then and they get the people in there. But still, most people that go in, San Diego, Whippet lover. Yeah, I discovered whippets after you're probably talking about the dog, so I won't get into whippets. I was going to tell you my one Grateful Dead concert, but let's not do that. Anyway, they can't get people through the internet. Right. And like Aaron was saying, the last thing they want people to do is Google Scientology. So they're not saying, hey, go on the internet, check us out. Yeah, they get people from other countries that are poor, whatever, but all they can do with those people is get them into the Sea Org. Not that that's not valuable, and they can then you've had experiences with both. Yeah, I had no idea what whippets were. I was at a Dead concert after the concert in the parking lot party. Still kind of tripping. And then I'm like, what are all these people doing walking around with these huge balloons taking hits off? What the hell is that? That was interesting. Yeah, so they don't, right, Amy, they have no revenue source anymore. The whole thing is they can keep milking the current members, but eventually that's going to piss them off. Brian Adams tomorrow night. Have fun. Where are you located, Sissycat girl? Caffeine, 20th cup of the morning. Um, oh, Northern Ireland. Cool. That's a very picturesque, pleasant location, right? No problems there ever, or troubles. Um, but it's mellowed out a lot. Um, I don't know. Are you guys ready to unite or never? I stir shit up. That's just what I do. So anyway, yeah, thank God, right? Um, SP Team Europe. So they can't get people through the media. They can't get through people through the internet. They can't get them through YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or any of that. And isn't it funny how they say, "Hey, fluffer squirrel, all right, I'm gonna be out doing flyers tomorrow," but life has taken me in other directions in the last week, so somebody's sending us a big package to Eric that should be arriving today or tomorrow. So hopefully he and I can connect tomorrow and put some more of these flyers out. He's been doing it, and I put a few out, but I have an idea of like taking a little road trip and putting flyers up far away from any Scientology stuff, where they'll also get attention. Um, but anyway, so imagine their situation. They put millions and millions and millions of dollars into media. Like that's going to do it. Um, the media doesn't do it. What the hell can they talk about? It's so badly done and micromanaged by David Miscavige so that they cannot make good stuff. That's why Battlefield Earth was such a disaster. Apparently, some people say the book was actually kind of cool. And oh, that's awesome! I love the painting. Thanks for the shout out, Fluffer Squirrel. When you were doing your live stream, I was watching, and you talked about Eric and me, and I was just soaking in, that compliment, that set of compliments. That was really cool. Makes you feel famous when people are talking about you on the internet. So anyway, and then somebody earlier said they were watching a video about Hollywood tours and saw me in the background. So that's funny. Um, maybe I can be a Hollywood character, you know. But so yeah, like the fact that they cannot generate with millions of dollars. I mean, I could sell used toilet paper on the internet. If I had a $5 million budget, I could sell used toilet paper on the internet. They cannot sell Scientology on the internet. Interesting, huh? I mean, a dude got rich in the 70s selling pet rocks. You'd think you could sell your cult if that's possible, but they can't. A reverse recruitment film. That's right, Adam. Yeah, it just was like, and the whole thing was David Miscavige micromanaged, from what I've heard. I wasn't there, but from what I've heard, he micromanaged the whole process of filming the movie. Then, when it was a disaster, he blamed it all on John Travolta, and for him being gay. So yeah, that's nice of you, Davey. So anyway, but just imagine millions and millions of dollars, a TV studio, a motion picture studio, and you cannot put out some propaganda that brings, a couple thousand people in a week worldwide with a practically unlimited budget? Come on, man. That's how toxic you are. Scientology is more toxic than used toilet paper for sale online. Um, oh, yeah. Well, the phone cameras are ruining everything for them. So they have to keep trying the body routing technique. So, how's that working out? Well, ever since Streets LA was told to that he could perform a certain act on one of the Scientology guards, and he decided, I'm going to end your religion. Well, now we have a worldwide. Yeah, Davy's toilet roll might sell on the internet. Yeah, the reverse Midas touch. David Miscavige, whatever he touches turns to shit. But it might be gold-plated shit because he does like that gold exterior. But scratch the surface, poo-poo. And so they need body routers. But now, well, where are they doing any successful body routing? Mr. Whipple. Okay, somebody's old like me knowing the Mr. Whipple thing. Don't squeeze that Charmin, Davy. But yeah, so anyway, what we're dealing with here is a massive failure. So what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Send out more body routers? Give all of us a lot more filming opportunity? Give us a lot more hits on YouTube? Earn us a lot more money? Please do. And don't squeeze the shaman. Yeah, well, depends on how you squeeze, being a shaman myself. KT Pita, how are you? Yeah, so they have to send body routers out. I mean, they have three choices. Either they can really get smart about media and learn how to get people they need to learn how to get people off the street, or I mean, they need to learn to get people from media. Well, if they fire Miscavige and dump the LRH doctrine, then what are they? It's like, and I don't think these Scientologists would be adaptable to just start selling some other bullshit. I mean, they could do Amway or something, and they'd probably be pretty good at that. I mean, if they sold anything else, I always say, anybody that can sell Scientology to anybody could make millions of dollars selling cars, real estate, whatever. Probably a bad time for cars and real estate right now. But it doesn't matter, because if you could sell, yeah, we need a resource for when they do go farther away. One thing we have to realize, when they go far away from their org, they don't get the holy grail hardly ever, which is bringing somebody into the org. There's very little they can do on the street except sell a book and get the person's information. And I mean, hey, they're happy to do that for sure. Those are stats, and they live for stats. So absolutely. But It's really when they bring them into the org where they can get the high pressure and it's hard to leave, and they're surrounded by all these hungry Sea Org members trying to squeeze whatever they can out of the people. That's when they do it. So you go to a neighborhood that is economically challenged and you try to recruit those people. um, Oh yeah, they were totally trying to recruit at that. That was an El Salvadoran thing. And I think it was, who was it? Confident Chris, I think, that saw. So the way they did that was they said they were having two events simultaneously because they promised the El Salvadorans that they're not going to be recruiting for Scientology in their event. So what they did is then they put up their table next to their event, not in their event. But, how can you tell where the difference is between the two events? And so, yeah, the consulates, good idea. Good idea. Thank you, Amy. I'm going to look up the consulates, especially the Salvadoran. Um, and whatever. I'll go on Google Translate. I'll get some flyers translated that way. With Spanish, I can definitely find somebody that can help with that. But whatever, man. I'll get them translated into Chinese, whatever. Put them up by a bunch of consulates. Thank you. That's a really good idea. Um, Wilshire, yeah, Wilshire, yeah. That's where a lot of consulates are in Wilshire. Um, yeah, right. Don't don't look at the internet. If you want to know about Scientology, the only place you can find out is Scientology. Yeah, like what Aaron was saying yesterday. You can't ask a former Scientologist, "Oh no," right? That's like saying, "Don't ask my ex-girlfriend what it's like to be in a relationship with me." No, 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 no. Don't ask her. Don't ask her. You're not going to get the truth from her. You got to only talk to me about it. A little suspicious, maybe? What do you think? Um, don't ask my exes is if I'm an abuser or whatever, right? Oh no, they're going to lie. They lie, right? That's what Scientology's thing is to the world. Don't ask people who quit about Scientology. They don't know anything. Come and ask us. We'll tell you the truth for sure. Oh my God. Um, like if you can't see through that, maybe you deserve Scientology. I don't know. Maybe you need a wake up call, because like, if you went on a date and your date told you that, would you be interested in forming a long-term relationship with that person? Um, yeah, buy a book, right, KT Pita? It's like that's what they want you to do. Buy a book. Oh, well, can I go to the library and read it for free? Go to the bookstore, read it for free. Um, you know what I used to do long time ago before I ever did this publicly? I would always look for where the Scientology books were, like at Barnes and Noble, they'd have a couple books. And I would take them out and I just put them like in a random other spot. I'm not stealing the book or anything like that. I would slip some anti Scientology thing into the book. First of all, they would always have the book um, wrapped in plastic in the bookstore. I would take the plastic off. I would take it to the cafe, where you get to read books for free at Barnes and Noble, right? I would take it in there. You know, I don't know if I might have like scribbled inadvertently in the book. Not sure about that. I'm sure I would never do anything illegal. But then I would misfile the book somewhere in a section where nobody's really looking for Scientology books. And I would do that every time I went there. And, you know, but the funny thing was that they had the books wrapped in plastic, so you couldn't read them, or that was the intention. I unwrapped all those damn books. Sneaky, yes, and smart. Um, I mean, this was like 15 years ago. Statute of limitations has run out, I confess. So anyway, there's little things like that you can do. You see a Scientology flyer, you throw it in the garbage. You see a Scientology book, you misfile it. You make it hard to find. But yeah, if Scientology says you need this book and you say, oh, yeah, okay, I'll get it on Amazon or whatever. Oh, no, those are no good. Yeah. The 80s, wow. Well, the 80s is when I did my 2 Scientology tests, and that was funny. But yeah, that was kind of hilarious because the first time I didn't really know what was up. The second time I filled out that test with the most psychotic answers I could possibly answer for every question. And when they graded that test, they looked at me like, oh shit, we got a crazy one here. So anyway, they have to depend on the body routers to bring in the raw meat. And the body routers aren't doing so well these days, if you've noticed. So that means no new people. I mean, such a small amount of people. And like Eric was telling me, 80% of people drop off that they do bring in when the courses start going from like $50, $150, whatever, and then they jump up into the thousands. There's a huge drop off. So it's like any kind of sales operation. You need to get a lot of people in order to get those high rollers. Most of the people that you get, they're gonna buy the minimum. They're not really gonna do much. Let's say for Scientology, they need, they bring 100 people in the door, and 30 of those people leave without spending a dime. Probably more. But so let's say 70%, they spend something. They spend under $100. And a lot of those, out of that 70%, let's say 30 of those, they're just giving them some money just to get out of there. So now you got 40%. I mean, I'm spitballing here. But you got 40% of the original that are going to come back. That spend some money and they're coming back. Let's say they buy a book and they buy a course. Yeah, maybe they spend a lot. Maybe they are like whales. I mean, a certain percentage of people, no matter what they put down or they pay for a course or whatever, I'm sure a huge percentage of those people don't even come and take the course, don't even try to get their money back. They get talked out of it by friends or relatives or whatever, and they're gone. And then Scientology calls them 28 times a week for the rest of their life. I'm sure that happens quite a bit. But anyway, you're going to need to bring in, let's say 100 people to give you that 5 or 10 people that end up being in Scientology for some length of time, right? But you got to get those 100 people in the door. They're not getting 100 people in the door at the Hollywood Testing Center. They probably haven't gotten 100 people in the door in the last 10 weeks. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I don't know. The only people they get in the door, yeah, they do a little stealth recruiting on the street, trying to avoid us. And we're not always there because there's nothing to see most of the time. They get a few people off of the internet or whatever. I'm not saying it's zero. And what else? Not much. But are they really getting a lot of people in there? Are they getting 10 a day? I doubt it. And out of those 10 a day, what are those people really doing? They're either not spending any money. And how creepy is it for these people to go into this location where they're probably taking them through a back door, a side door, being weird. When they get in, they see all the windows are frosted. You can't see out. You're like, what the hell is this place? Not a good look, not a good PR look. And so that's if the body routing works or if they find anybody online. But it's not going to be long until those people find out about the protests, find out about all this stuff. Because if those people go home and they tell 5 people that they went and took a Scientology class, or somebody says, hey, what's that book? Dianetics. What the hell? You bought a Dianetics book? They're going to be like, what? What's wrong with that? And so then most of those people are going to be told what the deal is very quickly. So they're not going to really be into it. I want to hear your theory. Yes, please tell me. So anyway, now they're already losing members. They've been losing members. They already have had to deal with all the documentaries, Leah Remini's series, all the stuff that's been out there. And now it's like a total internet sensation. And SPTV.space is just fanning the flames of that. And we're going to get that site more and more highly ranked. Okay, so they're not getting anybody routed in, right? So lately they've been renting L. Ron Hubbard way, correct, right? Waiting for the next episode. But I think I see where this is going. They rent out space for event, that they're using those rental events to traffic people. Well, to traffic people, but to traffic people, you first have to get them into Scientology. Yeah, they're using those events to recruit people into Scientology, get them from another country through the event. Yeah, I mean, well, how would that work? Because I think, they can already get people into Scientology from other countries through a religious visa if they join the Sea Org. So tell me more how this would work specifically with these events. I'm not disagreeing, but what I wonder is, how do they traffic the people then? Or, why does the event help? I can see how the event is a good way for them to try to recruit people because they give an organization like the Salvadoran consulate, whatever, they give them. So the events would be cover for them to discuss who, when, where, why, and how they're going to get them over in Scientology. Okay. Over there to Scientology, right? Okay. You might be right. I just don't see why they need the event for that. But totally possible. And by doing that, okay, here we go. Um, yeah, like they had a table out there. Well, that's the whole thing. The event is the cover. It's busy. It has people there. Okay, yeah, but those people are already here. They're already in the United States. So you mean they get them there and then they traffic them to another country? I'm not sure I get it. Um, I mean, the event definitely, in terms of it being busy, they can move. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm getting it. Like they can move Sea Org people in and out, have them not be seen, have them blend into the crowd, things like that. Um, the people at the event in America are talking about bringing people from their country here. Right, but if they bring them here, then they're already here if they're at the event, right? They've already been trafficked. So what would the people at the event be doing? Would they be talking, would they be plotting on how to bring other people here? I just don't get the logistics of this. And I want to get it. I want to get it. Um, so, but anyway, it's really just funny seeing how they have no options. And since David Miscavige obviously made a big bet on media, he made a bet that they would be able to produce such slick propaganda media that they would be able to get a lot of people into Scientology through the internet, social media, TV channel, whatnot. That's obviously not happening. Because if it was happening, like Aaron said, then they wouldn't even bother with the body routers. They would just double down on the media strategy. And so then um, so if the media is not working, the body routers are getting thwarted. Okay, so what are they doing then? Send the body routers to places where we're not going to find them. So that would be the one little loophole that they could exploit. And they could exploit that loophole as long as we don't have a way. Correct. The people are already at the event, are discussing about their family, friends. Yeah. Okay. Right. And then Scientology could connect with people at the events. And okay, now it's kind of making more sense. Like, tell me if I'm barking up the right tree here. They meet with people at the events and they promise like, hey, we could bring your people over to the States. They just need to meet up with us in their country, join the Sea Org. We can get them a visa. And then they could even say like, well, for us to do that, you're going to need to be a member too. And can we introduce you in the communications course? And, you need to prepay for some other courses for sure and have an account with us. And now, when they do traffic that person to the States, Scientology owns them and Scientology can threaten to send them back. Now you see my devious mind going into action here. Um, so hold on. No problem. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So that's what you mean. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that for sure. Um, and that is called a criminal conspiracy. So that would be very funny. Oh, that's your point. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't getting the logistics of how it would work. Okay. No. That makes total sense. Um, because these events, especially if they're themed around a certain ethnicity, a certain foreign country, yeah, and they do pick poorer countries. It's a simplified term or explanation. You rent our street and pay for it, no problem. While you're here, let's discuss who's back in your country, right, that needs help coming to the States, and we will do the rest. Yeah, right. But meanwhile, we need something from you. Like, the only way we can do it is they join the Sea Org in their country, and you need to join Scientology here because we need a Scientologist on both sides of the equation. So, no problem with that, right? And then they can twist the person's arm to buy more and more and more. And they can be like, well, we don't know if you're really serious about bringing your relative over because you don't seem to be that eager to do more Scientology. What's up with that, right? Yep, 100% times 3. That's right, cubed. Um, not even times 3. Cubed. So, yeah. Yeah, that's body routing in bulk, international human trafficking in bulk, right? And setting up connections with the community. That's why we all need. Okay, so here's my shout out for the day. And it's going to start with me when I get off of this live stream. So if the line's busy, you know why. I will be calling the El Salvadoran consulate in LA. Let me get the phone number for that because why not? So let's see what we got. El Salvador. Consulato. Okay, that's at 3250 Wilshire Boulevard in LA. And the phone number is 213 234 9200. 213-234-9200. We all need to call the El Salvadoran consulate and warn them about the potential human trafficking that will now be going on because of their event. Tell them a little bit about Scientology And, just give them a nice, friendly neighborhood like, hey, you guys might not know the deal because you're from El Salvador and that is not a major bastion of Scientology. And you may not have seen all of the documentaries and TV shows about Scientology. We don't blame you for that. But we would like to tell you a little bit about why you might not want to have events there, why you may not want to subject your citizens to human trafficking by a dangerous cult. So please call the El Salvadoran embassy, consulate, sorry, at 213 234 9200. 213 234 9200. I will post it in the comments or something here when I'm done. And I urge everybody to call them to warn them that there might be human trafficking efforts already underfoot at this very moment that we speak, and that they might want to reconsider having events at a dangerous human trafficking cult location in the future. FYI, El Salvador. Okay, we know that El Salvador, have you guys seen the stuff about how El Salvador is jailing like every gang member in the damn country with not a lot of due process? And they basically have just like taken these guys off the streets and put them into huge prisons and just locked it up, thrown the key away, and things are getting safer on the streets. Can't say I like their lack of human rights thing, but it was getting very crazy there. So, I can't say I don't get it at all. But they've just cleaned up their gang situation, is what I'm saying. Do they really want to now start up with an international human trafficking cult? Is that what you're going to replace the gangs with? El Salvador? We want, inquiring minds would like to know the answer to that question, El Salvador. So yeah, they can have events like that, and they could be really sneaky. Another thing we need to do is, because people knew this El Salvador event was going to happen in advance, what we need to do is get on the phone with people who are going to be having their events there, and we need to warn them that Scientology will, they call it like that they had two events. Like, oh no, our recruiting is not part of the El Salvadoran event. We're just over here, over there with a table, no big deal. No, Scientology is not inviting people into their area and not trying to recruit them. Bullshit. It ain't happening. So, yeah, they're definitely trying to recruit people. The thing is, then we have to also look at how many people would they have to recruit off of that event to really make it worthwhile. Hey, Keith, thank you. Thanks for stopping by. It's never a complete live stream without you. So yeah, we need to call the El Salvadorans. El Salvadoran consulate once again, 213-234-9200, 213-234-9200, Los Angeles number. Please call them. please warn them that they have been infected by the Scientology virus. Oh yeah, that's why they kicked him out. Of course they didn't. They know we're not dangerous. Confident Chris is not like a dangerous guy, not at all. But he is a guy who could speak Spanish and tell those El Salvadorans what's up. And Scientology does not want that happening. So they can't do body routing. Their media efforts are getting them nothing. And so now they are trying to find everything they can do, rent out their space to other groups and try to then recruit from those groups. Rent out their space to other groups just to try to get legitimacy in the community, but I doubt they're ever going to do it without trying to recruit. Like I noticed at this one event a while back, it was something for Israel, and the protesters showed up. It was at the Valley Org up in North Hollywood or wherever, and and I was thinking, what's this Israel thing? What does that have to do with? Is it Israeli Scientologists? No. They rent space out to these groups, but then luckily, the Ethiopian event, okay, they rent space out to these groups, then they can try to recruit to the members of the groups, the people who attend the event, or they can at least just get some legitimacy. Oh, yeah, and then they have the beauty pageant, the modeling thing, You can always get cute girls if you say, you should be a model. Come to our modeling thing, There's 10,000 pickup artists roaming the streets as we speak with that line. And it works all too often, and it's bad. But it's a huge thing. I mean, in LA and Hollywood, you tell somebody, I could see you as a movie star, come on in and audition. I got a casting couch all ready for you. So that's one of Scientology's tricks. And it'll work for a while. It'll get some people. But the thing is, young girls that want to be models in general, they're not really wanting to join Scientology. And they're not wanting to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, $1 million to find out about Xenu. It's probably not their plan. So you got to remember, most people that even join, that take their first class, that buy a book, most of them are going to be gone within the first 6 months to a year anyway. So they have to get a lot of people in there to make it work. If they don't get a lot of people, considering they're going to lose most of the people they do get in, it's not a viable operation. And remember, this is a sales operation. In a sales operation, you need leads. You need to generate leads. You need to bring the leads in. You need to sell them. You need to close. You need to get the money. Not happening for Scientology. Yeah, they can still milk their current members and their whales for the time being. But the more pressure they put on those people, the more of them leave. And nobody's coming in to replace them. And like Eric Rader told me, a lot of these things, it's not just about replacing people who bring them money, but it's also replacing staff who it takes 2 years to train for that position. They walk out the door and they got nobody to fill the position. So, isn't it fun watching this whole thing unravel? It's the best reality show ever. I love it. So thanks for being here today. We're at an hour, longer than I thought I was going to do, but I can't shut my mouth off at will. But anyway, if you haven't given a like, please do so. And really happy to have you here. And hopefully, I'll be able to meet up with Eric tomorrow, go out and do some flyering. If I don't meet up with him, I'll go do it by myself and I'll bring you guys along for the ride. Thank you, KT PETA, for bringing that new idea about their scheming, something to look out for. And again, before I get off, if everybody would please call the El Salvadoran consulate in LA at 213-234-9200. I'm going to do it right now. Please warn them about their involvement in Scientology, how bad it makes them look, and how they are endangering their own citizens. Thanks for being here. Davey Mismanage, over and out. Bye-bye.